Hi everyone, it's Sunday, August 25th, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. In the United States this week, the big news was the announcement from the Chinese that they would be instituting additional tariffs beginning September 1st, as well as December 15th. The lists do include wet salted and wet blue hides, so you'll have to check the lists and the codes that you use, as well as check with your importers to see how this will affect you. We have further details from the U.S. Hide, Skins, and Leather Association in this week's U.S. report that you'll want to have a look at. With regard to the market, packers were set on advancing steer prices, but buyers were not on the same page, so everything was basically steady for the week. Once again, offerings were limited, particularly with many sellers setting out to visit their customers in Asia this coming week before ACLE. With regard to heavy Texas steers, very little trading was reported, and the sales price eased to $26 for 62, 64-pound averages. There's nothing new in the cow sector, where it's still the same old story of poor demand and even poorer prices. But the exception is dairy cows, which are well sold, and especially the premium types. With regard to U.S. slaughter, the week is estimated at 654,000, just slightly higher than last week. And the export report had combined sales of just 389,000, but shipments were at a better level of 599,000. Again, lower sales figures aren't surprising, with packers holding firm on prices and buyers waiting for the fair, or at least the visits from their suppliers. In our observations this week, we take a look at the firm steer market and some of the indicators that might signal it'll stay that way instead of moving up significantly. The European report is still on hiatus this week, but we'll be back next weekend with an abbreviated pre-fair edition, and we'll be back on our regular publication schedule the week of ACLE. Moving right on to South America, editor Ronald Guiel reports from Brazil that TR1 eased slightly to sell at 46 cents per square foot in U.S. cents. Raw hides also dropped 10 cents in reals. Just as everywhere else, the market in Brazil was pretty quiet in advance of the Shanghai Fair, and with Italy still not back in full business. In news items from Brazil, we have reports that the footwear sector is worried about imports under the agreement with the EU, and some information about the more than $157 million that Brazil exported in footwear components so far this year. From elsewhere in Latin America, we have news that Argentina's slaughter was high in July and Colombia's decreased over the year. In addition, we have information about Mexico's herd growth forecast for 2020 and Paraguay's cattle harvest outlook. So that's all we have for today, and next week we'll be coming to you from Shanghai on the eve of the fair, and we'll report daily from ACLE. So until next week, good night from HideNet.